This is the beginning of day 12, our European tour, October 2009. We visited Florence. We left the Hotel Peregrini in Pisa and travelled down a short distance to Florence. If you want to pause this, you can see the top attractions of Florence. This was our lovely tour guide, Italian of course, and we started out in the Piazza or Plaza of San Giovanni. This was a 12th century cathedral and was modified in the 1500s, where a dome was added to the front of the building, and then at the back of the building there was a separate standalone building called the Baptistry of St. John, with a lovely golden door. This marching band was heading for a parade, something to do with tossing flags. That's a cultural thing with the Italians in Florence, probably other places in Italy. As I said, this is Baptistry of St. John, built in the 12th century. It's octagonal in shape and it has some beautiful artwork both on the outside and on the inside. And there's the gates, golden gates of paradise on the outside. So these gates, there's two of them made of bronze, built in the 1400s. And if you have a really close look at the photographs that follow this, you'll see that there's a lot of detail in these 5 rectangular reliefs from the Old Testament. I should say there were 5 reliefs on each door, and the artist, the sculpture was Ghiberti Lorenzo. While we were looking at this Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, you can see the red dome in this video. We witnessed a whole heap of runners with different coloured t-shirts, and it turns out that there's a business that runs daily running tours and different lengths. I think it was 10, 12 and 15 kilometres, and you'll see they've got different coloured t-shirts, and I believe that the different colours represent the different lengths of the daily running tours. And the idea behind these tours is you get to kill yourself with the running and exercise, and they take you past the different attractions, tourist attractions, and stop and talk about them and then move on. And you'll see some people are walking and some people are jogging in these groups. Then we moved on from the cathedral and we went to this little side street, a plaza of Santa Elizabeth, and here just up in there you can see a black protrusion out of the building, and basically there was a hole in that way back in the day when they didn't have electricity or toilets, and they would just go to the toilet out of the hole and it'd drop into the street. So you can imagine the hygiene problems that came of it. Then we saw this equestrian statue of somebody called Cosimo I in Pisa, or Plaza della Signoria, and we walked around and the tour guide told us all about the different things that were in this area, and one of them was this fountain. It was called Del Nettuno, and just beyond that were more sculptures. In fact, the whole plaza was just full of sculptures, and one of them, which caught my eye, was a sculpture of Perseus with the head of the woman Masuda. She's the one with the snakes coming out of her head that mesmerised men. And in that same building area were all these other statues. One of the statues further around was a replica of Michelangelo's David, and he's got no pants on. And you can see my wife posing for a picture underneath. And I've forgotten what the name of this building was. But beside the replica of David was a statue of Hercules and Caxus. And here they are in an image together at the front of the building. Then we walked through some absolutely beautiful side streets of Florence, old buildings, and we came across this parade of traditional flag throwers. Then we walked to the next plaza, and it was in the background you can see the Basilica of Saint Croce in the city of Florence. This building was geometrically designed with marble inlay, and they called it a Tuscan facade. And it was this basilica was filled with art and also a mausoleum of great names of Florence and treasures and other Renaissance artwork. Then we came to the river, and it went through the middle of Florence, and here's a bridge called Ponte alle Grossi, and this was just one of the 3 bridges that we looked at. And we walked along past this auditorium of Santo Stefano, and our main aim was to reach one of the most famous icons of Florence, which was the bridge Ponte Vecchio. And here is some selfies of my wife, and we always have to take a photograph of each other. I don't particularly enjoy it, as you can see by my stance, but the bridge itself had a whole heap of these shops built on it. The original bridge was built in 1000 BC and was washed away and rebuilt again, and here are some of the shops on the bridge. And then the third bridge was St. Trinity Bridge, and it was nothing spectacular, and it was on the way back to the bus. Then we travelled from Florence for 3 hours and arrived in Rome and went to our hotel, which was called Rogaternui. Forgive my pronunciation. The video was produced by myself, and it's the end of another exciting video of day 12 of our European tour, October 2009, when we visited Florence.